Hi everyone, another one of my little vlogs. Today I wanted to talk about liminal space. It probably sounds familiar because it's kind of like subliminal, but liminal space is well, it's kind of an aesthetic. It's, how best to describe it? It's a space between places, a place of transit, of waiting, where it's all very kind of familiar, but not. Kind of like with how robots kind of like look like humans, but they don't. So it's that kind of uncanny valley type situation. And that's kind of the thing with liminal spaces. I mean, a couple of good examples would be like ball pit and playground, indoor playgrounds, waiting rooms, airports, swimming pools. But most importantly, these are only places that kind of exist when there are people. When there aren't any people, that's when it starts to get a little bit creepy. Not creepy, eerie, uncomfortable. So kind of like this, really. With no people. And you've probably seen that in quite a few movies. I know, for example, Wes Anderson uses it in his movies. There's also this sense of nostalgia, and I think it's something that's only kind of really come to prominence in the last, say, 50 to 80 years with the advent of mass marketing, production, and globalization. Because you go to a McDonald's in New York, it's going to be almost the same as a McDonald's in Japan. There are these templates that get used over and over again by these different places. Hotels, perfect example. You go to a one branded hotel in, I don't know, Chicago, and then across the other side of the country, you go to the same brand, exact same layout, colours, designs, and it's supposed to give you the sense of comfort, of familiarity, but it really doesn't. It makes it feel like a home away from home, but it's not your home. It's someone else's. And I've gotten really... I love that kind of eeriness to it all, because it's a space that exists only if people are in it. When people aren't in it, it takes on a wholly different meaning. Imagine for a moment a supermarket, any supermarket, but with no products on the shelves, no advertisements, and no people. What have you got left? This fluorescent lighting, white shelves made of metal and plastic, tiled floors, and this eerie kind of buzz from the lights, from electronics around the place, and maybe even the music, that is so prominent, and it's a kind of space that I live in here. I work in that space because on a night shift, especially during night shift, hospitals, hotels, supermarkets, parking garages, all those kind of places, they're devoid for the most part of people, except for the person who is guarding them or caretaking, whatever. So I don't find it eerie being in that space. I feel comfortable, but only because I've been here so long. And that's what a liminal space is. It's a space between spaces. Like I said, a place of transit, of waiting, and definitely of nostalgia. Like I said, in the last 100 or years or so, because of mass marketing and everything, but more so, I think it's something that us millennials especially experience, because we have these memories of these places that we've been, of that could be anywhere in the world. And that's interesting. I like to think that at the moment we're like at the forefront of how these things feel. Just think of pictures from the 80s and 90s. Blockbusters, malls and shopping centres. They have these unique kind of colours and spaces and arrangements to them. Concrete, flat, somewhat rounded. Fluorescent lighting, always. And no other lighting past that. There's no kind of natural light that comes flowing in. And I think, actually, that might be one of the key elements. No natural light, only fluorescent. It's a man-made space. But man does not occupy that space. So yeah. And I love it. It's nostalgic, it's creepy, eerie, otherworldly, definitely. And I really would love to know what kind of spaces, liminal spaces, that you have experienced, what you can remember. And I guarantee you there will be at least a dozen other people who remember the exact same place, but you have never been at the same place. Waiting rooms, airports, hospitals, swimming pools, hotels, car parks, theme parks. These are all these kind of places, but without people. So go have a look online, see what you can find, what you can remember, and share them. Let me know what you find.